The sailors who got stuck in the ice suddenly come across some dude whose tent is on fire. They take him onto the ship, but someone's after him. They fire a bazooka at the guy and think he's done for, but he gets back up and starts wrecking their ship. They come up with a clever idea. Instead of blasting the monster, they'll blow up the ice. So they do it. The monster sinks. And that could have been the end of the story. But apparently, the monster was a professional swimmer. The dude from the burning tent knew it would come back. It always did. He wanted them to throw him off the ship because everyone was going to die otherwise. So he starts telling his life story. Classic stuff. Strict Dr. Dad who beat him for the smallest mistake. A loving mother who died during childbirth. The father liked his brother more, and that's how they lived. Meanwhile, young Victor wanted to prove to his dad that he's a badass and could pull off the impossible. His father died too, but Victor's ambitions didn't shrink. He wanted to take control over death itself. He presented his project, but people accused him of heresy and playing God. But then some guy showed up who actually wanted to invest in his work. He also happened to be the uncle of Victor's brother's girl, the one Victor fell in love, which was a little twisted, you know? Rules of brotherhood and camaraderie and all that. If you're still here, it'd be awesome if you dropped a like and a sub. Really appreciate the support. Meanwhile, our champion swimmer popped back up and started circling the ship. The sailors were basically crapping their pants and wanted to hand Victor over, but the captain wouldn't let them. He wanted to hear the whole story first. Then maybe he'd give him up. So the story continues. The investment went through. They found some rundown shack and fixed it up nicely. Then they started collecting bodies of criminals for the experiments. There was also a scene where Victor was stalking his brother's girlfriend and suddenly started confessing to her in the confessional. Yes, I know. A strange place to meet. Later they had dinner together, and he thought she was sending him signals. But nah, she was loyal. Time passed, and the investor started getting impatient. He wanted the research wrapped up and gave Victor a strict deadline. Then suddenly, Victor had a breakthrough. And that's when they started putting the monster together. So they finished putting the whole body together. All they needed now was a storm to bring the monster to life. Then the investor's true motive came out. Turns out he was terminally ill and wanted Victor to transfer him into the new body. Victor refused. The investor tried to destroy everything. They got into a fight. He fell into a pit and died, and the storm was cracking with lightning around them. Something went wrong, and the experiment didn't work. At least, that's what Victor thought. In the morning when he woke up, he suddenly had a visitor. He probably nearly crapped himself, but he somehow convinced the monster to live down in the basement. He started training him using his dad's methods. Meanwhile, his brother showed up with his girlfriend. The girl, pretending it was perfectly normal, approached the monster chained underground to say hello, a completely reasonable reaction. The monster's development didn't satisfy Victor. The monster only said, "Victor." The monster's lack of brain development and crazy strength started to freak Victor out. He told his brother that their uncle died because of the creature and that he had to destroy it. He burned the whole house down. For a moment, he hesitated and wanted to go back to save the monster, but it was too late. He lost his leg in the process. The story gets cut off by a strange noise. The monster had made it onto the ship. And suddenly, he decides he's going to tell the captain his side of the story. The monster's story starts with him escaping the burning house. Then the sea spits him out on a shore. Hunters chase him, so he hides in a cabin which later turns out to be their cabin. But he lives in some unused part of it, and just watches the family from the shadows. He sees the old man teaching his granddaughter, and learns from it himself. He helps the family, but never shows himself, because he's scared of how they'd react. He brings them firewood, builds them a pen, that kind of stuff. The family has problems with wolves. They head out on some trip and leave the blind old man alone. Great idea. Nothing bad could possibly happen. Just a little vacation, you know. When the family leaves the house, the monster decides to approach the old man. The old man welcomes him like a normal person, even though he can barely speak. He knows who the monster is, even without seeing him. He knows he's good, and that he's been helping them all this time. He starts treating him like a friend. He teaches him how to read and talk. The monster wants to discover himself, to understand who he really is. He goes back to his first home and finds some documents, and Victor's address. When he returns, he finds out the old man was attacked by wolves. At the same time, the family comes back and thinks the monster did it. They shoot him. He wakes up after a while and decides it's time to visit his creator. We jump to the moment of Victor's brother's wedding to Elizabeth. Everyone shows up, even the monster. Surprisingly, the confrontation is completely calm. Victor isn't even shocked that the monster is alive and can speak now. The monster has realized he needs someone he won't lose, someone like himself. He tells Victor to make him a woman. But of course, Victor refuses. Except, it wasn't really a request. A fight breaks out, though. Fight is generous. It's more like a one-sided beating. Elizabeth walks upstairs into the room. The monster actually likes her because she showed him kindness at the very beginning. But Victor decides, whatever, and fires a shot at the monster, and ends up hitting Elizabeth. Other people rush into the room, including Victor's brother, and it all ends with him dying too. Victor grabs a rifle and heads in the direction the monster escaped to. I have no idea why he even bothers with the gun, knowing it won't do anything to him. When he finally catches up, the monster breaks Victor's nose and walks away. And then Victor somehow convinces himself that his life's mission is now to chase the monster down and destroy him. He buys dynamite and some ammo. He sets up a tent, the same tent you might remember from the beginning. The monster shows up and tells him that, hey, they can give the dynamite idea a try, and if it doesn't work, he'll catch you anyway. Victor lights the dynamite, and guess what? Nothing happens to the monster. And that brings us to the end of the whole story. After hearing the monster's side of everything, Victor has a moment of reflection and apologizes for everything he put him through. The monster forgives him. Victor then dies, most likely from all the injuries he got earlier. The monster helps the sailors escape and then walks away. Let me know in the comments what you think about Frankenstein 2025. For me, it's a solid 7 out of 10. And don't forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button.